Okay, so contrasting these two kinds of emotions that we've been talking about, one is doing something for the world out of a sense of, I would just call it self-love because of a lot of similar words you use, sense of purpose for myself, sleeping well at night. It's a sense of self-love that I want to be happy, so I'm doing these things. Um, where does this lack in love when we are interacting with others on a daily basis? So, be it friendship, be it people who are our family or loved ones, why does this sense of uh, ease or giving not come in if one were to? Because we are studying love, and suppose the traditional uh, high point of love is giving and unconditional way of going about it. So why would this be missing in us when we are? Uh, is it a sense of fear? Is it a what is it that drives that? Where is the problem? If there is a problem first.
So I don't know if it's a problem or it's just life. It's pretty tough out there, right? So I think the first expectation one has is to fend for oneself, right? And then when I say oneself, then it includes me, it includes my immediate family, then it includes my extended family. So somewhere in our minds, we feel that, whatever else we do or not, we need to fend for ourselves. And I think that is from the structure of the way society is today,
Okay.
right? See, it's not we are not living in a, of course, we are a very bountiful country, but all of us are not living a life of plenty all the time or most of the time. I mean, COVID has been another dampener, right? So I'm saying it's more society is the fittest of the whatever survival of the fittest, as they say, right? So I think in this whole um, trying to look after oneself, and I don't think everybody is like that, but somewhere we lose that objective point of view for caring for others. And I don't think it's too much to ask, frankly. It's just basic qualities that a human comes with, right? Saying, I mean,
True.
I think we're all, whether wherever you come from, unless you've had something that has scarred you, why would you be not willing to give or not willing to share or not willing to say a nice word or not willing to help, right? Unless something has gone terribly wrong. So I think that humans somewhere have not introspected and they don't know another way. So they think that this is the way to, you know, what's wrong with the way we are? Why should we be doing things for others? And you'll be surprised that I've heard this from really close relatives, right? So you'd like to think that you're brought up in the same family and your value system will be the same. It's not, because where I started and where I have landed, my journey has been different. So I think it's because people don't know any better and not because they don't want to, is safely what I think.
Okay. I have a
That they
one.
don't want.
Sorry. Sorry. Complete.
So I'm saying it's just that, I don't know any better than what it is, right? And then once you're like, as they call it, the midlife crisis or whatever, once you start growing older, you realize that there are a lot of the things that you probably been doing, you need to undo or unlearn, or you need to discover new things about yourself. So I think it's a journey of growth, and that growth can come to people at different ages. It can come to you at 20 if your exposure level and your where you live and what you do kind of facilitates that, or it can come at 40, or it can never come, right? So I think it's a journey, and I think everybody will have a brush with it.
Hmm. Uh, okay. One example that was running in my head was I read a lot of news where a lot of capitalist businessmen made a lot of money during the lockdown. And on one hand, we are quite well aware that a lot of people, in fact, a lot of people close to us are also not doing well in some way or the other. Uh, like you said, we are not a country which is like everybody has plenty. It's not like that. Now, one question is, if those guys already have a lot of money, they are billionaires in the US or even India. Yesterday I read a very small percentage has made a lot more money or whatever, which is fine. Which is the question I'm asking is, what keeps driving them if it is not fear? It's self-preservation or survival in different ways. I'll give you a nice story that I had heard. There was this uh, fort that was being built, and Swami Ramdas was sitting there, and Shivaji was also there, and a lot of people who were working there were were aware that their king was here. While looking at all of them, he felt a sense of pride in himself. Uh, like, this is what I make possible. All of these guys get their livelihood because I make it possible. And Swami Ramdas was obviously his guru, so he could read his mind. And he says, "Do you have any of your fellows who's very um, there's this huge rock here. I wanted to split into two at one with one stroke. Do you have anybody who can do it?" He says, "Yeah, I have just the right guy." He calls one guy who's an expert at doing that, and he hits it at the right spot, and it breaks exactly into two. And within that rock, there is a small hole where there's a frog who jumps out, and there's a bit of water
Okay.
inside. So Swami Ramdas turns to Shivaji and says, "Who is feeding this guy?"
Hmm.
And that guy feels ashamed and whatever. Then the story is a typical one. Uh, my question to you is, within this, I will now try and correlate it to the earlier definition of love and examples that you gave, because I completely agree with you on. Let me be upfront on that. It's not easy to relook at certain things that we take for granted. So if I am doing something for my kids, I expect that they are going to at least be grateful, even if they do not give back. That's a
Absolutely.
basic thing that you would want.
Yeah.
Now, within that, what could make it possible where we just become givers of sorts? I will also tell you why I'm asking this question, because the sense of happiness is doing a thing unconditionally, which little bits that we know with these small acts of charity that we'll end up doing. Um, Within that, we find a certain sense of peace and happiness.
Sure.
Now, that is exactly what we are all looking for in different ways, whether through coordinating with people from the family. You used a nice example earlier that I love my family, extended family, but I do not know whether I have that. I want to invest the time or the effort in something that you maybe there's a combined thing that you're looking forward to. How can one seek that same sense of quote unquote selflessness? One, do you agree that we can try looking at it from that perspective? And two, if yes, how can one go about that, doing that? Because that will mean less heartbreaks. Again, it's a very selfish thing by itself, but a more holier.
It's quite ironic as you speak. I just think that when it comes to giving things to others, we are far more selfless than we are to giving to people who we are close to,
Yes,
right? Because with people who are close to, friend, family, child, spouse, partner, there is always expectation. But when you're actually doing stuff for other people, when it's not expected of you, you seem to be able to extend that selflessness, right? Because you know that there's nothing that I can expect from this person or this organization or this group of people, right? Except for that feeling which feeds into you. So, how can we get people to do more of that? Or I'm just saying, how can I?
yeah, yeah. It's more about you. People is it's their prerogative if they look at this chat and find out something that makes them introspect on these kinds of thoughts. but it's more about you. If you had to bring in this aspect of quote unquote freedom with your child, with your spouse, with your friends, what is it that one needs to really acknowledge within? Because the problem is with all of us. I You actually hit the nail on the head that even I think when I was smiling because I said, ouch, this is like, oh, even I do this. Like your family you take for granted and you say, okay, it doesn't matter. Uh, but I would be nice to you if I'm meeting you lesser, and I would be nicer to somebody who I absolutely don't know. So
Right.
why is this aspect of distrust, if I were to call it that?
It's a very interesting question that you've asked me. So um, I'm just thinking, how does one consciously start doing it? But are you talking about like random acts, or are you talking about like,
Anything, I think it's a
programmed acts?
mindset change. It will initially it will be programmed only. I think because you'll be conscious of, say, tomorrow you decide to make some dish for your spouse that you actually hate, and you don't even
Hmm.
want acknowledgement. You just want him to be happy and end of story, which is what you would do for a stranger otherwise. Because that's the only time that we do that. Like I've had friends who have chai coffee with me even they don't want to because they feel okay, chal company dete hain. They don't
Hmm.
particularly like it or not, and but they let go of that thing. So something like that. So initially it will be programmed, but what is the mindset change? What is it that we tell ourselves that frees us of the
Hmm.
burden? I don't have an answer for a change. Even I have asked a question that I have absolutely no idea of.
I think you have to be more at peace with yourself. Okay, let me try to say this differently. See, I think that the reason one looks for acknowledgement, and I'm not even using the word gratitude. So, gratitude is a very big ask. And
Yeah,
I don't think gratitude is the right word. I think acknowledgement, because that's the first step in
yeah,
relationships becoming stronger, because problem starts when you're not acknowledged,
yeah.
right? And I think all of that acknowledgement one seeks from friends, family, is to kind of help you define who you are, right? So if my child says I'm a great cook, or if my husband says I'm a great, I'm an equal or whatever. Yeah, I was just going to say good homemaker, and then I stopped myself. But any of those things, it kind of adds back to me feeling better about who I am, right? So I think that that freedom or that mindset change will come when one is completely at peace with oneself.
So no asking for validation from outside.
Absolutely. Right. So, see, and I'll tell you the life stage that I am at. I had a fairly good career. I wouldn't say very high paying, because you know how advertising pays, but a very satisfying career, right? From there to where I am, where I really enjoy all that I do. But you know, the way you ask me, what do you do? So, for some people, when I say, what do you do? It's like, oh my God, you do so much. But for me, I'm constantly thinking, what is that one thing that I stand for? Right? And if you
Yes.
remember, we used to do that for brands, right? You always wanted to know what is that one thing that a brand stands for, because everything else can be so easily defined, right? So I think the moment you are in a position where you can define that for yourself, I think that is when you will be, liberated from this need to be acknowledged as much. So
Okay.
today, for example, I never expected to be a professor or teacher, and today I'm in a much better place. But when I started, I would seek so much acknowledgement from students, right? Because I'm not sure if I'm doing it well. So
Yes.
there's a self doubt, saying, am I cut out for this? Am I doing this well? Similarly for parenting, I'm saying parenting is the biggest, it's ongoing learning. We
Yeah.
never get it right. Yeah. So I'm constantly thinking, okay, is my daughter sharing enough? Or, is she telling me everything that I'm supposed to? So I think the point I'm trying to make is, the minute you're very, you are very sure and at peace with who you are, I think then you'll stop expecting other people to validate you, I think, and then that whole, you release yourself and other people from that. Then you can do stuff without having to, take the pressure of. So, for example, I tell you, through the lockdown, it's a very funny conversation that happened in my house. While I obviously do all the domestic work, that's not something that I enjoy doing, which my husband knows, right? So if one day the house is in a mess, he'll not pull me up and say, "Arey, kya hai? So let's do this. Let's put this in order, etc." But the problem is, if his expectation of me was that, then that would lead to this whole disappointment that things are not the way they are, right? But for example, if I do something that maybe is not typical of me when it comes to my daughter, he'll surely ask me saying, is everything okay? You're not being your normal self with her. So point being that I think it's all about expectation and disappointment, and I think you should, once you're sure of who you are, then all that expectations will drop. People will not expect you to be a certain way because you're anyway radiating who you want to be, right? And I think once that happens, there will clearly be a mind shift in your mindset. Then you can liberate yourself of this thing of expecting people to do stuff, acknowledging you, etc., right? Because if you see all the memes that keep happening, and I have a lot of friends who are purely homemakers, you know in fact they thrive on this whole thing that nobody in the house is helping them, right? Because their sense of identity comes from this person who's running this chaotic house and is the one man army. Abhi aap wo bhi usse le loge, right? Then she doesn't know what she's standing for. Just to give you an example, and I think each one of us has our personal battles of who we stand for. The minute we know who that person is, I think you'll be cool. You'll be like, ठीक है यार, I can do stuff for people without burdening them with, the expectations of what I want them to be. If that answers your question.
Yeah,